Hi and welcome to my channel. I've been reading my journals and I came across something that I had wrote. I said, I hope someday I can say I'm truly happy. So in this video, I want to talk to you about what one thing that I did to come out of that funk and I began to be happy again. How I began to put myself as a priority and began taking care of myself. So if I did what I'm telling you and came out on the other side and I'm here talking about it, I believe you too will have a good story to tell. And I'm talking about this because maybe I know I'm not the only one who has ever been unhappy about themselves, about life, in debt, and just in shambles. So I promise if you commit into getting better, life will change for you. And you won't even recognize yourself in the next few years or maybe even in the next few months. And people will begin to say, oh my goodness, you've changed a lot. And that's something that you should be happy about. So first, if you want to get where you're going, you start loving yourself exactly where you are. Does that mean that you're content where you are? No. Simply it means accepting yourself where you are so that you can go, so you can be where you need to go. And I'm talking about self-care. And when I say that, I don't mean to provoke images of you in a spa, doing your nails, facials, and things like that. That is important too, but I'm talking about doing something with your doing some mental work and being emotionally well. The self-care I'm talking about is like marriage vows, except that you have a contract with yourself. So you agree that you're going to stay with you no matter what. What do I mean by that? First, let me acknowledge that self-care concept might be difficult to accept for us, especially for us who grew up in a collective society where you're socialized to think of yourself in the context of others 24/7. So to the extent that your individuality is non-existent. So I believe we can achieve a sense of individuality and still care for others. We can strike a balance. It's even harder for women in our culture to think of themselves because you're constantly required to be like an emotional ATM machine for everybody else's needs. You carry everyone's wellness in your back. So I want you to begin paying attention and bring yourself back to the center, so that you can start taking care of your community and marriage in a healthy way where you're also present. So taking care of yourself for the worst, those are the vows that I'm talking about. You're vowing to support yourself in goodness, in bad health. When you're failing, when nobody's there for you, you're taking care of yourself. When you fail a major exam, you're still gonna love yourself. When you drop out of college, you still love yourself through it. Taking care of yourself when you disappoint others. When you're fighting with your parents and you're feeling the guilt and the weight of it, you're still not hating yourself, taking care of yourself. When you break your diet, when you're using eating as a coping mechanism, just taking care of yourself and loving yourself, taking vows to say, I'm going to be with me no matter what. So giving yourself the right to be wrong and not beating yourself up, not neglecting your emotional needs. You keep trying and go after things that you want because life will always give you the things that you ask for. So if you don't get the things that you ask for the first time, life will give you another chance. Life will never run short of ways to give you what you're asking for. So if you don't get it the first time in your first relationship, you're gonna get it in the next one. Eventually, you're gonna get it. There is a poem or there is a writing that I've shared before. It was written by a woman called Portia Nelson. And they were asked to write 5 chapters of their lives and make it really, really, really short. And the first chapter that she wrote, she said, I walk down the street and there's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in it. I'm lost. I'm helpless. And it's not my fault. It takes me forever to find a way out. That's the first chapter of her life. The second chapter, she said, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall again. And I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it's not my fault. But it still takes me long to get out. That's the second chapter. The third chapter of her life, she said, I walk down the same street. There's still the same hole in the sidewalk. I see it, it's there. I still fall in it because it's now a habit. My eyes are now open. I know where I am. Now I'm saying it's my fault. I get out immediately. And then she wrote about the fourth chapter of her life. She said, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the same sidewalk. Now this time, I walk around it. And then the last chapter of her life, she said, I walk down another street. Do you see, it takes time. It takes time to say, that's not good for me. That's not good for me. So life will give you chances and chances. So inside that terrible experience of that fifth relationship maybe that ends, you get to walk in a different path. And that's what I'm talking about. You hold yourself in sickness and in health, in riches, in poverty, in your silliness of mistakes. You just love yourself the way you want someone else to love you. And I know this might not be your thing, but really this was the beginning for me to free myself. This is the sign to know that you're loving yourself well. When you're alone, you don't feel awful. You don't hate your own company. And you're not afraid to look at yourself in the mirror. That's a really true test that you're getting there. It's like going on a date, and how do you know that it's the right one? It's because the way he makes you feel or she makes you feel in his presence. So that's how you should feel when you're free. So I'm asking you to be fully committed to your wellness and build a relationship with yourself to the point where you realize that you're complete without needing to have a woman or a man constantly giving you a sense of importance. So that concept of self-care transforms every area of your life. It transforms your business, your family, your relationships, your kids, your social relationships. Oh my God, you're gonna transform. Trust me, I'm speaking today because I got transformed. Because you're committed to being well. And you love in a new way. You love in a new way. You love people for who they are, the same way you're really loving yourself. And this is what the world needs. So in self-care, you learn how difficult it is to be consistent. You will see how unconditional self-acceptance is not easy. And from this experience, you will accept the limitations that others have. And this really helps you to take it easy on others. And you'll be more gracious to others. And you'll just be a better person to be around. You know, I had someone say that your healthiest relationship will only be as healthy as your relationship with yourself. And I couldn't agree any better. So I'm so glad you're connected today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can notify you every time I post a new video. I'm sharing all this so that you too can be free and so you can try what I tried. And I hope that in sharing, you will benefit. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. I'm going to put the link below. I'll see you again next time. God bless you.